Hey everyone, so I finally got around to installing this cool carbon fiber interior. All right, it's carbon fiber pattern interior, and I love this thing. Okay, I thought it was gonna be just okay. I bought it, it was on sale on Amazon like months ago. Turns out I really love it. All right, so I'm gonna do a little unboxing, show you how to install this. It just goes on with the double-sided tape stuff, and then I'm gonna show you how cool it turned out, and then I'm gonna try to convince you to change your interior like this. It just looks so cool. Obviously, I'll have a link to where I bought this from on Amazon, and it was very inexpensive, which usually means there's a drawback, and there's a slight drawback, but I show you how to get around that. So check it out. All right, let's see what we got first here. This is for, obviously, the dash and, you know, carbon fiber pattern. I think they're going to overlap. Maybe they won't. I don't know. I got to check the size. But either way, this gappage is going to be behind the screen, hopefully. So, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty sharp. A little bit worried that it's so glossy. You know, am I going to get a big glare in the windshield? I don't know. Find out. Okay, so there's that. And then, and that's, I'll put the links in here, but these are from Base Nor, Amazon. This one is Teslarati. And here's that pattern. You can see these are pretty close. Not exact, but close enough. So there's obviously a cup holder and then the other two center items. I've got a 2018, so these are the patterns I have. All right, let's put them on, see how it looks. All right, so trying to do a little bit of a dry fit here just to see how things go. And what I'm finding, first off, is that I think it's gonna look pretty cool. All right, that's pretty slick. Way slicker than that, my opinion. Okay, but what I am seeing is that, and it's a little hard because I can't hold this down and do the camera, but I'm gonna end up with a gap back here. Now, this is behind the screen. Oh, yeah, my screen tilts. You know, you want some of that action? Go see my other video. Good discount code and stuff on that, so please go see my other video. Anyway, back to this. The gap, although it will be behind the screen, it's gonna look about like this. That's, you know, what is that? Good 2, 3, couple millimeters there. That's pretty significant. You know what? Let's see what that looks like outside the car. You see that? I mean, yeah, especially down there. Of course, now keep in mind, this stuff's, it's floating around right now. It's not really down. But yeah, you can kind of see that. Look, over here, you're sitting in the car. You're not going to see this. The screen is going to be, even like this, even the screen's tilted all the way back. You got to lean way forward to see that. But what I think I'm going to do is I've got some other vinyl wrap, carbon fiber. It's this one, which I'm about to get to here in a minute. But I've got some scrap of this, and I think what I'm going to do is put a little bit behind there just to kind of darken that up, because that wood is pretty light. But you know what? I think I'm going to put something even simpler than that in there, because it doesn't matter if you got carbon fiber pattern behind there. All right, so what magic trick did I use for this? Electric tape. Like I said, I was going to put some of this fancy vinyl wrap back there, but why bother? It's not a big enough gap where you're going to see a pattern. So just putting something dark so that, you know, when you look through there, it's just not going to be so light. All right, first thing, get some alcohol, wipe everything down, clean it down well. All right, it's pretty standard at this point, but you got to get all kinds of dirt and grease and everything off so that this tape sticks really well. Something else though I noticed, see how this tape is kind of overlapping here? I'm going to cut that off because that will not allow it to sit down level if you've got double sticky tape on there. All right, I'm practicing putting this thing on. I gotta say, I'm a little bit nervous because I feel like once the tape touches, you know, that's it. First thing I'm gonna do is kind of line this side up or push this in. You notice there's no tape here. So just, you know, keep an eye on, remember where the tape is. So I think I'm gonna try to just kind of line this side up first and then just watch and maybe look at the front. I'm going to focus more on the front here. Start to push it down that way. Doing this side first because no steering wheel in the way, and you know, that could make things easier. Start peeling this off. All right, I've rehearsed this 1,000 times. Let me see if I can do it. I already feel the tape grabbing on that side. But I am making sure I'm also pushing this way because I want to try to reduce that gap in the center. Ooh. Okay, well, that went on pretty smooth. I was focused on looking here to make sure that, you know, it wasn't up too high. And then, you know, based on rehearsal, I knew where that was, and then I knew that this would come down and be pretty close. All right, so yeah, you know, there's nothing you can see down here in terms of any wood or any weird gaps. It folds over here, so I mean, especially from here, I don't see anything. On the side, no real gaps. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so wow, so far, this is like a whole new look. That's pretty sharp. But it's also pretty shiny. We'll see how that goes. Time to do the other side. There's a slight difference. Just like the other side, I've been rehearsing, pushing here, keeping my thumb there, and then watching this line, get a good eye for where it ends up, and then starting with that edge, kind of placing it down there, putting some pressure on it. Then once I get that like stuck in it, I see that it's in a good spot, then I'll push the top down, which, you know, I don't want to push it too far down this way because then you'll see it'll need to move a lot. So I'm hoping to get it like right in the correct spot and then push it down and not have to have it move too much. But yeah, what I don't want to happen is to like stick up like this where there's a giant gap in there or anything. So I don't know, a little rehearsal. Maybe I'm overthinking it as usual. All right, let's peel this off. Backing off. This makes me so nervous. Lightly. Okay, now I'll just slide my hands. All right, there it is. Makes it easier to put pressure while I'm sliding across it. So there we go. All right, let's take a look. This is about the driver's side view here, and that looks pretty sharp. I mean, that's pretty slick. I gotta say, it's really, I mean, it really changes the view here. Fits well around here, around the edges. I showed that other edge earlier. It's fine. There should be there's no interference from the door. There's plenty of room there. No worries there. So, the only issue, so you'd have to like really look over and you see that gap. Now, is that gap like good? Is that a great thing? No, it's not. That's not good at all. That's definitely a downside. Something that you've got to consider. But also consider that this is, you know, this is pretty inexpensive. This thing was not expensive at all. I'll put the link to it. What's the worst thing that can happen here? You put this thing on, you don't like it, you get a little heat gun, blow dry, and you pull it off. Okay, this double-sided tape is like miracle stuff. It sticks stuff really, really well, and then when you want to get rid of it, you just, you probably should heat it up. Heat it up, gets a little gooey, pull it right off. So that would be the worst of it. Buy it, put it on, doesn't work out, pull it off and return it. Or leave it on there for a while. That's what I plan to do. Leave it on there for a while. If I like it, fantastic. If not, I'll get rid of it, change it, put something else. All right, now let's get to this. So if you thought about doing some kind of a vinyl wrap in here, I'll put a link to which vinyl wrap this is. It's the same one I used on my mirrors if you saw that video. This was kind of like a test piece, and this is obviously the new one here. So You know, I honestly thought I was going to use this here. What I realized, though, about this vinyl wrap is that it does have a pretty cool look to it in terms of when you get up close to it or, you know, even further away. It's got more of a 3D look to it, and it's pretty cool. However, that's only when it's well lit. Generally, the interior of your car isn't that well lit. I've noticed anyway. And how I really notice that is because as soon as it gets a little dark in here, this just fades away. You can't see any pattern on it at all. And I'm not talking about it being that dark in here, just darker. Anyway, if you know you're looking for something that it's just a little bit brighter, you know, again, it's just like in my other video, I've got mirror cap versus the vinyl wrap. And it's like this, you know, it's just this huge difference in the look. There's just obviously the plain piano black, they call it piano gloss black. So that is just a massive difference. Anyway, I'm going to take this off and then start putting these on. Now what I'm doing here is that allows me to push this in. Without this here, when you push this down too far, it makes it a little more difficult to line this up. So what I'm doing is just putting anything in the way. What I'm going to be doing is with the, you know, I still have the backing on here, so it's not going to stick. So is use my hands, my fingers like this on both sides. And I'm going to look at the bottom here, make sure I've got everything lined up there, and then slowly bring it down and try to just stick that first edge lined up, looking then left and right, and then slowly bringing it down, making sure I've got left and right lined up. Okay, here we go. Backing is now off. Watching that front, feeling out the sides here, looking up at the sides. Alright, I'm just kind of looking at it now, making sure everything looks lined up right. So, I'm going to start pushing from the bottom and then push up there, and then just kind of get some pressure all around here. One thing I also noticed is that it's a little short up here, and I think they made it specifically that way. So if you look at that clearance there, it's pretty tight. So that's why they did that. Let's move to the other pieces. Something I'm noticing about this centerpiece here, which is a bit concerning, you got to put that slight gap in there. You can't run this all the way up to kind of like the very edge, because if you do, it'll catch. Alright, so this one seems to be about the trickiest one so far, because it's just kind of where its location is, and kind of leave that little bit of a gap in there, and it's kind of recessed. Try to hold the back up a little bit more so I can make sure it's aligned before it drops. Alright, now I can kind of get some more force on this thing. Alright, push it down. Ah. I didn't get that quite right. Darn it. I don't know if you could see that. It's off a little bit here though. Yeah, you try not to let that bother me. Oh, it's bothering me. Oh shoot. If it bothers me too much, I can just heat it up, pull it off, put some more tape on there and redo it. Right off the bat, we could see this one just doesn't line up that well. You can see there's a decent gap here and on this side here. So you gotta kind of line up the gaps. This one's gonna be a little tricky, and after screwing up this one over here, I've lost my confidence. Alright, see how this goes. Wow. Man, I am not liking this one at all. It's already, I mean, I barely pushed it down, but there's so much tape on the back of this one that it's already like really stuck on there. This is about as good as it gets here, I think. Press this down. There's tape all around this thing. yeah, highly recommend. I don't care what you put on the interior of your car, change it up. It looks cool. Anyway, it looks different. All right, a lot of times different is cool. And if you don't like it, hey, change it up again. No big deal. Put white in there, put all black, put matte black, put gray. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.